Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 10월 7일 월요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. Well, it's the beginning of another exciting week, and this one is likely to be even more refreshing for those who had a chance to enjoy the past weekend's weather. Literally, it was a breath of fresh air that marked the start of the long-awaited fall. 어제는 많은 시민들이 바깥나들이를 즐기며 휴일의 여유를 만끽했습니다. 낮에도 기온이 20도 안팎에 머무는 등 선선한 날씨에 거리에는 외투를 입은 시민들도 눈에 많이 띄었는데요. 산책부터 해서 나들이, 데이트, 스포츠 활동, 야외 결혼식까지 많은 시민들이 가을날의 상쾌한 날씨를 누렸습니다. 그런데 오늘 아침에는 비가 좀 내리고 있네요. 기온차도 크고 변덕스러운 날씨입니다. 오늘 모두 운전 조심하시고 감기도 조심하세요. Well, the weather is not only unpredictable now, but it's also a little unstable, leading many to eagerly wait for the right weather for any activity in daily life. With that in mind, let me give you a weather-related quiz today, which is not a word related to the weather. 1번 foggy, 2번 rainy, 3번 spicy. 오늘도 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있겠습니다. 퀴즈 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 총 5분께 뉴욕타임즈 1개월 구독권 보내드릴게요. 여러분의 소식과 소감 그리고 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주세요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. Okay, then let's kick off today's show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
Protests in Hong Kong have further escalated after the government imposed a ban on face masks.
홍콩 정부가 복면금지법을 전격 시행한 후 홍콩의 반중국 시위의 양상이 더욱 격화되고 있습니다.
More than 100 people have died in Iraq as protests against government corruption continue.
이라크에서 민생고 해결과 부패 척결을 요구하는 반정부 시위의 사망자가 100명에 육박했습니다.
Data have showed that Japan's economy has been hit by a decreasing number of Korean tourists to the country over July and August.
올해 7, 8월 일본을 찾은 한국 관광객이 급감하면서 일본 경제에 상당한 충격이 있는 것으로 분석됐습니다.
The Exchange 106 skyscraper in Malaysia has set a new record as the tallest building in Southeast Asia.
말레이시아 쿠알라룸푸르에 건설된 The Exchange 106 빌딩이 동남아시아에서 가장 높은 빌딩 자리에 올랐습니다.
Korea remains watchful over the possibility of Typhoon Hagibis approaching the country.
제19호 태풍 하기비스가 발생해 향후 진로에 관심이 모아지고 있습니다. And for the headlines and more on this Monday morning, I'm joined by Steve Hatherley. Good morning, Steve.
Rainy Monday morning.
It's a rainy day indeed.
Good morning to you. Yeah, we already have a message from one of our listeners, Chae-Yun Shik-nim. It says it's raining here in Daejeon, a little gloomy. So maybe nationwide rain this morning.
Yeah, but he went on to say, I do want to say a heartening and lively Monday morning to you all.
Absolutely. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, I did. Did you?
Oh, amazing.
What did you do?
I had an amazing weekend. First of all, I saw Joker.
Oh, yeah?
Joaquin Phoenix. Last week I was talking about how Leonardo DiCaprio is an incredible actor.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is just as good.
Oh, he's incredible, isn't
This
he? He's
movie
really good.
is so good. Please go watch this movie.
Yeah?
I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I will say this. The director, and this is interesting because it's the same director who did A Star is Born.
Oh.
He also did the Hangover series, if you remember
A
those.
Bradley Cooper fan, I suppose he is.
Maybe. Bradley Cooper's not in this one.
Okay.
But what this director does is he humanizes the Joker.
Yeah.
So you see a very troubled individual.
Didn't Jim Carrey play the Joker in one of the past Batmans?
I don't know if Jim Carrey did or not. You may be right. It's been played by many different characters.
Yeah.
I remember Jack Nicholson did it
Okay,
a long time ago. It's been done many a time. Heath Ledger, of course,
Yeah,
in the Dark Knight was incredible. And a lot of people, I think, were wondering about, can Joaquin Phoenix do as good a job
Right.
as Heath Ledger did? But it's a completely different film because that was a Batman movie. This is focused on the person and how he became the Joker. It's so good.
Right.
Yeah.
A writer just wrote in telling us that A Star is Born was directed by Bradley Cooper.
Oh, really? Todd Phillips wasn't connected to A Star is Born? Maybe he was in some other capacity.
All right.
Anyway,
I see.
regardless, everybody should go see The Joker because
Yeah.
it's super good.
Alright. 박연수 님이요. Good morning, 수진쌤, 스티브쌤. 월요일 아침은 무슨 일이 있어도 모스 오프닝을 들으면서 이번 주도 활기차게 시작해보자. 오늘 아침 출근길은 쌀쌀해서 정말 가을이다 하는 게 느껴지는 것 같아요. 두 분 다 감기 조심하시고요. 이번 주도 화이팅입니다 하셨어요. 감사합니다. Thank you so much for that. 유찬수 님이요. 오늘도 즐거운 하루예요. 모닝 스페셜 덕분에 항상 월요일이 무겁지 않고 즐겁네요. Well, that's what we strive to do, to make your Monday morning a little lighter than usual.
Hope so, yeah. What'd you get up to on the weekend?
I watched a movie as well, but it was a children's movie. So I wouldn't recommend it to everyone out there, but
You usually like kids' movies, though.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big musical animation fan. But more than movies, over the weekend, because the weather was so nice, I took my children on their bicycles, and we just had a lovely ride around the lake that I live nearby, and it was very nice.
Sounds nice, yeah.
Yes.
Fireworks Festival was over the weekend, too.
Yeah, that's what it was. I heard some sounds.
I know. I was out to dinner. I totally forgot it was happening.
Yeah.
And I live right in front of it.
Oh.
I could have had a gathering at my house, but I was at a restaurant, and while I was eating, I heard,
Yeah.
and I thought, what's that?
What's that?
Oh, right. That fireworks festival is happening right now, so I missed it, but I guess it was a good scene.
I wonder if any of our listeners can send in some pictures, because I know people took pictures over the weekend
Yeah.
when that happened. I didn't see it either. I just heard it.
That would be nice, yeah.
Yeah, let us see some of those pictures. But in the meantime, we will go over our headlines.
Headline number one this morning. Protests in Hong Kong have further escalated after the government imposed a ban on face masks.
네, 홍콩 정부가 복면금지법을 전격 시행한 후 홍콩의 반중국 시위의 양상이 더욱 격화되고 있습니다.
So we've seen these protest images and videos for months now, and what we're familiar with, the umbrellas, and we're also familiar with the face masks.
Sure.
But now Carrie Lam has claimed that it is illegal to wear face masks, and according to her, she said that it's the only way to restore order in the city. So I guess the idea was that, if you make or force the protesters to take off their face masks, and of course the reason that protesters are wearing the face masks, they don't want to be caught on camera
Sure.
and punished for what they're doing. So Carrie Lam thought, well, if you take away the face masks, then maybe this would be a deterrent.
Yeah, less people will participate.
Yeah. Not
That
the
was
case.
the idea,
That
but
was,
no.
That was the idea, yeah. And there's a pretty strict enforcement of this law. And now if you break that law, you could face up to a year in jail for wearing a face mask. But it did not help. Saturday was a day of rest for the protesters. Sunday, they were back at it, denouncing that ban on face masks.
Right. I feel like we're beginning to sound like a bit of a broken record because we've been talking about these Hong Kong protests for weeks and weeks. We're now entering week 18 already. And like you said, there is a hefty fine or at least imprisonment on the line, but that isn't stopping people. 최고 1년 징역형까지 처할 수 있는 이 복면금지법. 이게 지금 이제 시행이 됐음에도 불구하고요. 사람들은 계속 시위를 하고 있고 오히려 더 격화되는 모습입니다. The unrest is actually escalating.
Yeah, it's the most violence that they've seen so far, at least according to the media. There was an incident where a taxi driver, ran over protesters with his car, and a man was also beaten bloody by a mob of people. The incident involving the taxi cab, that was the most violent. The city has seen during this protest movement. And, the police continued to use tear gas and rubber bullets, but we also saw the student shot in the shoulder. So, as I mentioned last week,
Yeah.
we don't see an end to this yet.
Some people in Hong Kong are even calling for a new government to be made on the heels of everything that has happened.
Well, the protesters did try to get this overturned, this ban on the masks. They were looking for an injunction or a ruling against the mask ban. The Sunday courts, or the courts on Sunday, they denied that second attempt. But they did agree to a judicial review of Carrie Lam's use of emergency powers. They didn't set a specific date for that, but they indicated it would happen later this month.
네, 계속해서 이제 반대 시위가 벌어지고 있는 가운데 지난 주말에는 수천 명의 시위대원들이 그 홍콩 임시정부 선언이라는 제목의 선언문을 낭독하기도 했는데요. 미국의 독립선언문을 일부 차용한 것이었다고 합니다. 시위는 오늘도 계속될 전망이라고 하죠. Let's go on to our second headline.
Headline number 2, more than 100 people have died in Iraq as protests against government corruption continue.
이라크에서 민생고 해결과 부패 척결을 요구하는 반정부 시위의 사망자가 100명에 육박했습니다.
Another story that we covered last week in the news, right, about the protests. These are young people in Iraq who are unhappy with the government. They're unhappy about the employment situation. I believe the statistic that we learned last week, but that the unemployment rate for young people was 25%,
Yeah.
or double that for adults. And now the government, and because of that, a lot of violence in the country. And now the government has spoken for the first time. Interior Ministry spokesman Saad Man said on Sunday that 104 people had been killed in the 6 days of unrest, 8 members of the security forces, and more than 6,000 wounded. This has gotten really violent.
네. 지금 스티브 선생님이 가지고 있는 업데이트된 정보에 의하면은 지금까지 104명이 사망했다라고 합니다. 청년 실업률이 굉장히 높다고 설명을 해주셨어요. 25%의 수치까지 지금 보이고 있다고 했는데 a lot of the protesters, as you said, are young and highly educated. I watched one interview. One of the protesters says, I have a master's degree, but I just cannot get a job here.
Yeah, I think maybe when we think of protesters, and especially when we see buildings set on fire or we see violence in the protests, we think that maybe these are uneducated people, but that's not always the case, and we have to remember that, right?
And the United Nations has condemned these clashes.
Yeah, they have, and Sadman again on Sunday, he said that protesters had burned 51 public buildings, 8 political party headquarters. Now, he claims that security forces didn't confront the protesters. He said that quote-unquote malicious hands were behind the targeting of the protesters, but that goes directly against what demonstrators and journalists at the scene who have witnessed security forces against what they say. They say they've seen forces firing on demonstrators, and some protesters even said that snipers took part in breaking up the protests as well.
와우. 유엔의 이라크 특사는요, 반드시 지금의 이 충돌이 멈춰야 한다라고 말하면서 이렇게 사망자 발생에 책임이 있는 자들이 법적인 심판을 받아야 된다 이런 얘기를 했습니다. 사망자가 지금 100명이 넘었고 부상자는 4,000명이 넘었다라고 합니다. Let's go on to our next headline.
And next headline this morning, data have showed that Japan's economy has been hit by a decreasing number of Korean tourists to the country over July and August.
올해 7, 8월 일본을 찾은 한국 관광객이 급감하면서 일본 경제에 상당한 충격이 있는 것으로 분석됐습니다.
Again, a story that keeps popping up in the news,
Yeah.
right? This goes back a while, but now numbers are in, and these are big numbers. The amount of lost tourism-related revenue for Japan estimated at around $300 million for the months of July and
Right.
August.
That would be about 3천억 원 in Korean currency. And if you compare the financial losses just in the tourism industries of both South Korea and Japan.
It's not even close.
Yeah? What are we looking at?
Well, that's 10 times the amount of money that they lost in Japan was $300 million, 10 times more than the money lost here in Korea. They estimate that at around $33 million.
네. 일본에서 지금 한국 관광객이 줄어들므로 인해서 지금 생긴 뭐라 그럴까요? 손실, 이 3천억 원이 우리나라에서 이제 일본 관광객이 줄어들어서 발생한 손실액보다 9배나 많다고 합니다. 뭐 한 10배 가까이 된다라는 얘기를 지금 해주셨는데, in Korea we're looking at, roughly, like you said, about 1/10 of that.
Yeah.
Still quite big,
Yeah.
but not as big as Japan.
And also the number of people visiting Japan from Korea over that 2-month period was down by a lot. 874,000 Koreans visited Japan. That's still a very large number, but
So, yeah.
not compared to last year. It's
Right.
down 27.6% from last year.
So basically, less and less Koreans, almost no Koreans are going to Japan, but Japanese tourists are still coming to Korea.
Yeah, in
Would that be
fact.
a fair judgment?
Yeah, it's a completely fair judgment because they have the numbers on that too. 604,000 Japanese people traveled to Korea. That's 10 more than a year ago.
와우. 네, 방한한 일본인은 이제 60만 명 정도, 그리고 일본을 방문한 한국인 같은 경우에는 한 80만 명 정도인데, 이제 작년 같은 기간과 비교를 해서 보면은 우리나라 관광객은 일본에 이제 한 30% 가까이 줄었고요. 일본에 가는 우리나라 관광객이요. 때문에 우리나라로 오는 일본 관광객은 한 10%밖에 줄지 않았습니다.
And the spending too. Korean people's expenditures made in Japan moved down 60%. 60% in August from a year earlier.
All right. Let's leave that story there and go on to Malaysia.
Malaysia has a new tall building. I love it when these stories pop up, don't
Yeah?
you? I don't know why. They're just always kind of exciting and kind of cool. The headline is as follows. The Exchange 106 skyscraper in Malaysia has set a new record as the tallest building in Southeast Asia.
네, 말레이시아 쿠알라룸푸르에 건설된 The Exchange 106 빌딩이 동남아시아에서 가장 높은 빌딩 자리에 올랐습니다.
Have you been to Kuala Lumpur before?
I have not.
Yeah, well, you see the Petronas Towers there,
Yeah.
right? Well, the
Twin Towers.
The Twin Towers. The Petronas Towers were the tallest buildings in that country, 452 meters. But now the 106, the Exchange 106, is standing at 492 meters.
So just 60 meters taller than the Petronas.
That's right. 40, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
right?
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
My math is terrible.
And now it's ready for occupation. Tenants are going to be moving in by December, they say. I don't know who those tenants will be. I know that it won't be me. I'm assuming rent in the tallest building in Malaysia is going to be quite expensive, but it's
Wow.
kind of cool, right?
네, 그렇습니다. 그동안에는 이제 말레이시아 하면은 굉장히 유명한 쌍둥이 빌딩이 있었죠. Petronas Towers. 그런데 그 빌딩이 그동안에는 동남아시아에서 가장 높았다면 이제 새롭게 건설이 된 지금 보이는 라디오로 보여드리고 있는 이 타워입니다. Exchange 106. 이게 492m로 가장 높은 동남아시아에서 가장 높은 건물이 됐고요. The reason it's called 106 is because there are 106 floors.
106
right?
floors. Would you like to live near the top of that?
I think I would.
Would you really?
Yeah.
The elevator.
Wouldn't it be cool?
Elevator might take a while.
Oh yeah. I mean, if that breaks, then I'm in trouble. Especially when I'm going to work.
이사할 때 it's going to take forever.
아, 그럴 수도 있겠네요.
Anyway,
근데 전망은 좀 끝내줄 것 같아요.
The Petronas Towers, they were finished back in 1988. That's 88 stories.
I see.
And at the time of their completion, that was the world's tallest building. You know, the Exchange 106, though, they say it's going to lose its bragging rights very soon.
Oh,
yeah,
to who?
because there's another taller building not far from where the Exchange 106 is, actually. They are busy completing, that is going to be 500 meters tall.
Okay, 500. So just 8 more meters taller than this one. In Malaysia.
Why do we always want to build taller and taller and taller buildings?
It's just human nature,
It's like
I guess.
it's like it's a competition, right?
그렇습니다. 이 현재로서는 동남아시아에서 가장 높은 건물이지만 지금 짓고 있는 또 다른 건물이 이 건물보다 한 8m 더 높을 예정이라고 하네요. 어쨌거나 지금은 레코드 홀더가 됐습니다.
The Lotte Tower here in Seoul is even taller than that, though, right? 555?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long time ago. This is 123 floors and 555 meters. There was a time when I got the two numbers mixed up and I thought it was 123 meters and
500.
555 floors. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
네.
No.
배달 아저씨 죄송하지만 555층으로 오세요.
네, 아닙니다. 네, 아니고요. 네, 말해도 되나요? 네, 서울에 있는 큰 타워는 123층, 555m. 우리는 동남아시아가 아니니까요. 이제 이 타워는 동남아시아에서 가장 높은 빌딩이라는 거.
You can see it out your window, huh?
그렇습니다. 자, let's look at our final story.
Can you believe this? Korea remains watchful over the possibility of Typhoon Hagibis approaching the country.
네, 제19호 태풍 하기비스가 발생해 향후 진로에 관심이 모아지고 있습니다. This is expected to be a very powerful typhoon.
Yeah, they say that this might be the biggest and the strongest of the year.
So in the region, we're looking at Japan and Guam being in its trajectory. It actually started along the waters of Guam.
Yep.
It might or might not hit South Korea, right?
East of Guam is where it started, and then it's expected to move west. That's in this direction, our direction, our direction meaning this part of the world, west, before turning north towards Okinawa. Whether it will come to Korea or have an impact on Korea, we're not sure yet, but of course people are keeping a very watchful eye. If it does affect the country, this will be the 8th typhoon to affect Korea this year, the largest since the weather agency began compiling data.
네, 그렇습니다. 우리나라에 영향을 미칠지 안 미칠지는 아직까지 확실하지는 않습니다. 근데 만약에 우리나라에 영향을 미치게 되면은 올해 8번째 영향을 미친 태풍이 돼서 60년 동안 깨지지 않은 이 기록이 깨질 수도 있다. 지금까지는 이제 7개의 태풍이 올해 2019년에 우리나라에 영향을 미쳤기 때문에 지난번에도 이게 몇십 년 만의 기록이다라고 얘기를 했는데요. 그 기록이 깨질 수도 있습니다.
It's always better to be safe than sorry with these typhoon preparations, though, because you never know which path they're going to take. They suggest a path, but it often changes, doesn't it?
It does indeed. 지금 그 trajectory, 태풍의 예상 경로가 우리 보이는 라디오에 올라와 있습니다. 참고를 하시면 되겠고요.
Head up towards Okinawa, and then the western part of Japan.
It's not likely to make landfall in Korea, but it is still expected to, or it could have some sort of an effect. It could bring winds and rains, and that is considered to have an effect on the country nonetheless.
Hopefully this one stays away. The southern regions of this country need a break from that weather.
It does indeed. All right, well, those were our headlines for this morning. Let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
Quiz question today. Which is not a word related to the weather? Number 1, foggy. Number 2, rainy. Number 3, spicy.
네, 날씨와 관련 없는 표현 골라주시면 되겠습니다. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 뉴욕타임즈 1개월 구독권 보내드릴게요. Well, it's a Monday morning, and we have a Monday morning related song to play.
What's that?
Monday Morning 519, Rialto.
Perfect.
At 8 o'clock we said goodbye. That's when I left her house for mine. She said that she'd be staying in. Well, she had to be at work by 9. So I get home and have a bath. And let an hour or two pass. Drifting in front of my TV. When a film comes on that she wants to see, it's Monday morning 5:19, and I'm still wondering where she's been. 'Cause every time I try to call, I just get her machine. And now it's almost 6 a.m. First I guess she's gone to get herself a pack of cigarettes. A pint of milk, food for the cat. But it's midnight now, and she's still not back. It's Monday morning, 5:19, and I'm still wondering where she's been. 'Cause every time I try to call, I just get her machine. And now it's almost 6 a.m., and I don't want to try again. 'Cause if she's still not back, well, heaven knows what then. Is this the end? At 2:30 I picture her in the back of someone else's car. He runs his fingers through her hair. Oh, you shouldn't let him touch you there. It's Monday morning, 5:19, and I'm still wondering where she's been. 'Cause every time I try to call, I just get her machine. And now it's almost 6 a.m., and I don't want to try again. 'Cause if she's still not back, well, heaven knows what then. Is this the end?
You're listening to Morning Special. It's a Monday. It's not 5:19, it's 8:27. Let's take a look at your messages. 4430님이요. I also watched The Joker on the weekend. It was amazing, but it was a bit violent.
A little bit
Yeah?
violent, not compared to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, much.
I thought it would be more so, judging by the poster. It's very scary.
It wasn't as visually violent, I would say. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention. But I'm glad you enjoyed the movie 4430님. It's really, really good. Other people texted in saying they saw it too.
네, 정효선님도 저도 조커 봤어요. 와킨 피닉스 진짜 엄청난 연기를 보여준 것 같아요. 이지희님은 저는 주말에 불꽃놀이 보고 그 다음에 조커 봤습니다. 둘 다 너무너무 좋았어요. 이렇게 보내주셨습니다.
Yeah, you almost, again, they humanize the Joker.
Yeah.
When we've seen Batman movies in the past, you only think of the Joker as this awful, awful criminal. But in this film, you see a different angle. So there's some sympathy from the viewer's side, I think.
I got glimpses of that in some of the previous movies that I watched, where I felt like the Joker had a very vulnerable side to him. And the same goes for the Penguin as well.
Yeah.
Because these are all villains. But there were moments in films that I watched, a long time ago, where you felt like, there's a vulnerability there.
There's a human being in
There's a
there.
human being in there. And I guess this movie, it focused on that more.
Yeah, a lot more.
I'll be looking forward to that. 조주희 님이요. 사진을 보내주셨습니다. 상당산성 걷기 좋은 주말이었습니다. 그런데 지금은 비가 와요. 라고 보내주셨어요. Is that Korea? That looks like some place in Europe.
Yeah,
Look at that.
it looks
It's beautiful.
beautiful. Where is it exactly? Do we know?
상당산성이라고 보내주셨어요. Lovely.
Sky looks cool too in this picture, right?
It's in 청주, apparently. So lovely. 네, 주말에 정말 날씨 좋았습니다. 오늘은 비가 오고 있는데요. 날씨가 얼른 다시 좀 갰으면 좋겠네요. 5411님은요. 후아 날씨가 맵다는 표현도 있으면 재밌을 것 같아요. 모스 덕분에 영어가 좀 늘어서 미국인인 동생 남자친구와 소통도 꽤 좋아졌습니다. 라고 보내주셨습니다.
We didn't get any pictures from the fireworks yet.
No, not
And
yet.
I know at least one of our listeners was there. 이지은님 texted in said 주말에 불꽃놀이 보고 촉각봤어요.
Yeah,
둘 다
exactly.
너무 좋았어요. So that means you were there. 지은님, please send us a picture if you took one.
네, 인증샷 보내주세요. All right. Well, in the meantime, we're going to go and look at our news focus stories. 자, 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 올해 78세인 미국 민주당 대선 후보 버니 샌더스 상원 의원이 건강 문제로 선거운동을 잠정 중단하면서 미국 대선 주자들의 나이와 건강을 둘러싼 논쟁이 뜨겁게 달아올랐습니다. Let's listen to the story.
U.S. presidential candidate Bernie Sanders suffered a heart attack last week, possibly raising new questions about Sanders' age and health as he seeks the Democratic Party's nomination to challenge for the 2020 presidential election. Sanders, 78, is the oldest candidate in a race featuring a generational divide between older contenders, such as frontrunner Joe Biden, 76, and younger ones, such as 37-year-old Pete Buttigieg. Mr. Sanders underwent surgery to treat a blocked artery, having two stents inserted to prop open the artery, and was released from the hospital on Friday.
The presidential hopefuls, we're looking particularly at the Democratic Party because obviously from the Republican Party we're expecting Trump to be the only member, I think, to run for the race. But nonetheless, looking at the Democrats here, lots of people over 70.
Yeah, that's right. Joe Biden is 76 years old.
Yep.
And Bernie Sanders, I didn't realize he was this old. He's
78.
78.
Yeah.
And he did suffer a heart attack. And now people are wondering about his ability to run for the 2020 presidential, 2020 presidential race.
네.
78 years old, just had a heart attack. All these new questions have now come up as a result of his health scare.
네.
And that's why we say possibly raising new questions
Okay.
about his age and health.
그러니까 raise new questions 그러면은 의문을 제기하다 이런 뜻이 있습니다. 최근에 이제 78세인 버니 샌더스 의원이 선거운동 도중에 갑자기 몸이 안 좋다라고 해가지고 결국은 이제 작은 수술을 받게 되는 해프닝이 있었어요. 그로 인해서 사람들이 사실은 이제 경륜과 경력이 많은 후보를 좋아하는 경향이 있음에도 불구하고 어느 정도까지를 이제 경륜으로 인정을 하고 어느 선부터는 이제 너무 나이가 많았다라고 해야 될 것인가 이런 얘기들이 나오고 있습니다. Overall, I think the American people do like candidates with experience and age, but like up to what point? You know, that's the question.
That's not. There's no true answer to that question, I think. But in my opinion, if a presidential candidate has a serious health scare,
Right.
that may have an effect on
Yeah.
voters. But we are a year removed from the election time. So maybe this is news now, but
Yeah.
maybe, and hopefully, of course, Bernie Sanders will have a very healthy, 12 months and more than that, and maybe this won't have an effect. We'll have to wait and see.
All of these contestants are known as contenders.
Contenders. If you are a contender, then you are one of the people that could win. Bernie Sanders is a contender. Joe Biden is a contender. Pete Buttigieg is a contender. There are many. The list is long on the Democratic side, right?
네, 대선 후보라는 의미로 쓰였고요. 원래는 이제 경쟁자라는 의미입니다. The youngest is Pete Buttigieg, who's 37. How many years different is that? 78, 37? That's about like
A lot.
50 something years. Wow.
Your math is really bad, isn't it?
It is.
It's 41.
Oh my goodness.
What floor?
Okay,
How many floors?
Let me
How many floors?
explain. Let me explain. So I grew up always
Without math.
always using a calculator to calculate everything.
Math in England was introduced in 1999.
So whenever I did any addition or subtractions or multiplications, whatever, I always used a calculator when I was younger.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. So I'm actually good with concepts, but very bad with arithmetic.
Yeah. Anyway,
My
back
brain is not, shaped to do that sort of thing.
Monday, because of that, you are forgiven.
Sorry.
Contender, going back to that very quickly, it implies, too, that I think that you have a chance to
Okay,
win.
yeah.
Yeah. If you're at the bottom of the polls and you have a 2% popularity rate, you wouldn't call yourself a contender.
그렇죠.
Yeah.
유력한 어떤 경쟁자라는 의미도 있는 contender까지 살펴봤고요. Just very quickly, prop open.
Yeah, prop open, they used a tool to open up his artery. This was in the surgery, but I'll give you an easier example. Sometimes with a door, right, you'll use a door stop. I don't know how you say that in Korean, the little rubber thing. Well, that's used to prop open the door. So to prop open something means to use some little tool to hold something open for a period of time.
그러니까 이제 뭐 특히 수술에 있어서 뭐 open 뭐뭐뭐 하다 그러면은 이제 만약에 뭐 배 쪽에 그쪽 수술한다 그러면 개복이라는 의미가 될 텐데 그런 open 앞에 prop가 쓰였잖아요. 그래서 잠시 임시로 이렇게 열다라는 의미가 있습니다. 실제로 버니 샌더스 의원은 동맥 폐색 치료를 받았다고 합니다. Let's listen to the story one more time.
U.S. presidential candidate Bernie Sanders suffered a heart attack last week, possibly raising new questions about Sanders' age and health as he seeks the Democratic Party's nomination to challenge for the 2020 presidential election. Sanders, 78, is the oldest candidate in a race featuring a generational divide between older contenders, such as frontrunner Joe Biden, 76, and younger ones, such as 37-year-old Pete Buttigieg. Mr. Sanders underwent surgery to treat a blocked artery, having 2 stents inserted to prop open the artery, and was released from the hospital on Friday.
Let's go over to the UK for our second news focus story. 두 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 영국 해리 왕자가 일간 타블로이드 The Sun과 Daily Mirror 발행인을 자신의 휴대전화를 해킹한 혐의로 고소했습니다. 어떻게 된 일인지 들어볼게요.
Prince Harry has issued legal proceedings against the owners of British media outlets The Sun and the Daily Mirror for phone hacking involving the alleged illegal interception of voicemail messages. It comes after a separate legal action was launched by the Duchess against the Mail on Sunday for alleged breach of privacy and copyright infringement over that newspaper's decision to publish a private letter she sent to her estranged father. The lengthy legal process means any potential trial involving Harry would be likely to take place before October 2020.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex. We're looking at Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle.
Is Harry being criticized for this at all?
People,
It's not normal, right?
No, it's not. And some people are a bit more understanding towards his position on this. But then on the other hand, it looks like some people are saying, did he have to go this far?
Yeah.
Because a legal suit isn't just about, the wrongdoing of the other person. It means that you're going to be involved in something that could be very time-consuming and also damaging to your own image. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I read something saying that he didn't want his wife, Meghan Markle, to go through the same thing that his mom went through. So that's partially the reason for this.
Right.
Anyway, this is all
Interception.
all about alleged illegal interception of voicemail messages. So if I, let's see, who's outside? Paul Matthews is outside. So if Paul was in our studio and I was trying to throw a ball to Paul, I'm trying to throw it to Paul, but Sue catches the ball. Sue intercepted that ball. If you're a fan of American football, you'll hear this term a lot. This is about messages, though, meaning I'm sending to one person. It's intended for one person, but another person takes that message.
그렇죠.
That is called intercepting the messages. If you watch a war movie,
Yep.
right? If pilots are sending messages to each other, but then the other military, they grab that message. Well, it wasn't intended for them, but they took it, then they intercepted it.
그렇죠. 원래 이제 스포츠에서는 끼어든다라는 의미의 intercept 이 단어가 여기서는 이제 휴대전화 사실은 보이스메일이었다고 해요. 그러니까 자동응답기에 녹음된 내용이 유출이 됐습니다. 그래서 이거를 어떻게 보면은 제3자가 허락도 없이 끼어들어서 뭐 이런 정보를 가져갔다라는 의미로 해킹을 했다라고 보시면 되겠고요. Of course, be careful of interception and inception. Because these are two very different terms.
Yes, one is a movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio, and one is a term often used in sports.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, breach of privacy.
Yeah, there was a breach of privacy here and copyright infringement over their decision to publish a private letter. This is moving on to the Duchess's suit, her legal action. So when there's a breach of something, it means that something's broken and something else has come through. You'll hear the expression security breach.
Yes.
Right? So there's a wall, right? And some criminal maybe has broken through that wall. That's a security breach. A breach of privacy is kind of almost contract related, right?
Yeah. Also, it means that what should have been private was leaked.
Yeah, exactly. So this message, this letter, right, she sent to her estranged father, it was supposed to be for her father.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be for the media. They intercepted it, I guess, you could say. And that's why she's very upset about this, because of the breach of privacy.
네, 그렇습니다. 사생활 침해라는 뜻의 breach of privacy가 쓰였고요. 이 privacy라는 단어는 영국에선 또 privacy라고 발음을 하기도 합니다. All right, let's maybe look at just one more expression here.
A potential trial would likely take place between, now going back to Prince Harry, if this goes all the way to the end, the trial would potentially be in October of 2020, so about a year away. The potential trial. Potential means it's not definitely going to happen, but it might happen.
네, 잠재적이라는 의미의 potential이 여기서 또 쓰였습니다. The potential impact of the latest typhoon is that it could bring lots of rain and wind here on the peninsula.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Let's listen to this story one more time.
Prince Harry has issued legal proceedings against the owners of British media outlets The Sun and the Daily Mirror for phone hacking involving the alleged illegal interception of voicemail messages. It comes after a separate legal action was launched by the Duchess against the Mail on Sunday for alleged breach of privacy and copyright infringement over that newspaper's decision to publish a private letter she sent to her estranged father. The lengthy legal process means any potential trial involving Harry would be unlikely to take place before October 2020.
Let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
Quiz question today, which is not a word related to the weather. Number 1, foggy. Number 2, rainy. Number 3, spicy.
네, 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 무료 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 총 5분께 뉴욕타임즈 1개월 구독권 보내드릴게요. Pentatonics, Misbehavin', and after that we'll look at News Focus number 3.
A million miles away and I'm still thinking about my baby. Ain't misbehaving, no, you don't need to worry. I'm having a good time. Oh, 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 oh. And I've had one too many, but you're the only one on my mind. 3 a.m. my phone is dead, I'm acting like a dang fool. We're singing we found love and jumping in a swimming pool. Yeah, I had a good time. Oh, oh, oh. that too many, but I'm just doing this to pass the time. Oh, but I know that I can be wild sometimes. Oh, but I never lie, 'cause I'm yours, you're mine. But I ain't misbehaving, no, I ain't misbehaving tonight. But I wonder, are you out there thinking of me? Is it stupid that I'm asking, do you miss me? Are you behaving? 'Cause I'm saving all my love for you. And I'm having a good time, but I'd rather be with you. A million miles away, but I'm still thinking about my baby. Ain't misbehaving, no, you don't need to worry. Oh, but I know that I can be wild sometimes. Oh, but I never lie, 'cause I'm yours, you're mine. And I ain't misbehaving, no, I ain't misbehaving. Told you I ain't misbehaving, no, I ain't misbehaving. I've had way too many, and you're the only one on my mind.
자, 다음 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. 지난 7월 세계 최대 공유 자동차 업체 우버가 일부 회원을 대상으로 미국 뉴욕의 도심과 공항을 오가는 헬리콥터 택시 서비스를 개시했는데요. 지난주 이 서비스를 모든 회원 대상으로 확대한다고 밝혔습니다. Let's listen to the story.
Ride-hailing company Uber Technologies is taking to the air in New York City, where users with a little cash to spare will soon be able to book helicopter flights to John F. Kennedy International Airport through their apps. The roughly 8-minute flight will cost between $200 and $225 per person and include ground transportation on either side of the trip. Flights to and from Lower Manhattan became available to all Uber users on October 3rd.
Wow, just imagine getting on a helicopter to get to downtown Manhattan.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. And it's only going to take, what, 8 minutes?
8 minutes is the flying time, but I think we have to include the other time in this trip as well. For example, you have to get to the helipad, right?
It's not directly outside the airport.
Right, so in the article it says the price, which is not cheap, $200 to $225 per person. So if you
20에서 25만 원 정도.
if you and I went, that's 50만 원, right?
아, 사람당이니까요.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
But it includes ground transportation on either side. So you have to they will pick you up and they'll take you to the helicopter.
I see.
And then from the helicopter to the airport, wherever you need to be. So some people are saying that it could be almost the same amount of time as actually taking a taxi. But it's not as cool.
네, 지금 보이는 라디오로 영상을 띄워드리고 있습니다. Look at that.
I mean,
Wow.
you're a baller.
Have you ever been in a helicopter before?
No, I haven't. Have you?
No, nor have I.
It's a bucket list thing
yeah,
for me.
you can get on helicopters in Seoul.
You can take a tour of the city, but it's crazy expensive.
Is it?
I looked into it. I think it's something like $200 per 10 minutes or something like that.
Similar to the Manhattan Uber helicopter.
Not so undifferent, yeah.
All right, so if you have some cash to spare, maybe this could be an option.
Some cash to spare. Cash, of course, means money, and to spare means extra. So if you have a little cash to spare, means if you have some extra money, then you could fly in a helicopter to the airport.
네, 재밌는 표현입니다. To spare 그러면 뭐뭐가 남는다는 뜻이고요. Cash to spare. 만약에 돈이 좀 남는다면 그러니까 사실은 이제 굉장히 비싼 것을 이렇게 좀 재미있게 표현을 한 거예요. 현금이 좀 남는다면은 택시 대신에 헬리콥터를 타보는 게 어떨까요? Now, the roughly 8-minute flight will cost about $200 to $225.
This one's easy. Roughly means approximately.
그렇죠. 대략이라는 뜻입니다. 8분 정도 걸린다고 하는데 I heard that you can go from the airport to your destination in under 8 minutes. You know, sometimes
on the helicopter?
just on the helicopter. You know, so roughly 8 minutes. It could be less than that or more.
Approximately 8 minutes. So that means it could be 7 minutes and 30
or
seconds.
9 minutes.
Yeah, or 9 or 10 minutes. Yeah, the time is kind of approximate here.
맞아요. Roughly라 그러면 대략 이런 뜻이죠.
We use this a lot with how long will it take questions. For example, Monday mornings, a lot of companies have meetings. So how long will the meeting take this morning? Roughly an hour. Approximately.
그렇죠. 그렇게 쓸 수 있는 표현입니다. All right, let's listen to this one more time.
Ride-hailing company Uber Technologies is taking to the air in New York City, where users with a little cash to spare will soon be able to book helicopter flights to John F. Kennedy International Airport through their apps. The roughly 8-minute flight will cost between $200 and $225 per person and include ground transportation on either side of the trip. Flights to and from Lower Manhattan became available to all Uber users on October 3rd. I mean, if you could fly from JFK and land in Manhattan on your private helicopter, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, 20만 원, 25만 원 is really, really expensive, but maybe once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
Might be worth it, right?
Oh, yeah. All right, so what's a word not related to the weather?
Well, foggy is, rainy is, so the answer has to be number 3, spicy.
네, 3번이 정답이죠. 이태코님, 주천일님, 또 끝번호 2728 쓰시는 분, 0923 쓰시는 분과 권민서님 축하드립니다. 뉴욕타임즈 1개월 구독권 보내드릴게요. Steve, what is today's expression?
Yeah, let's go and use this one, to spare. It's so commonly used. We can use this about time or money, and spare means extra, and you can use it positively when you do have extra time or money, or negatively when you don't. I'll give you a couple of examples. Here's a question for you. Can you spare a moment?
Sure.
Well, what that means is, do you have extra time, an extra minute? Do you have a minute when you want to talk to somebody? Right? At the office, excuse me, can you spare a moment?
그러니까 can you spare 뭐뭐뭐 하면은 이거를 좀 내주실 수 있으세요? 이런 뜻입니다. 시간 좀 내주실 수 있으세요? 라는 뜻이죠. 또 뭐 spare의 용법이 많은데 특히 운전하시는 분들은 자동차에
spare tire.
네, 타이어 잘 아실 것 같아요.
Yeah, right. What about money? This one's easy, right?
If you have some money to spare, you could give it to me.
Yeah. If you have some money to spare, you could stay at a nice hotel, a 5-star hotel when you go on vacation. Or if you say, well, we were going to take a vacation to Jeju Island this month, but the bills were more expensive, so and I don't have any extra money to spare.
I don't have any money to spare. 그러면은 돈이 너무 타이트하다, 넉넉하지가 않아서 좋은 데를 가지 못했다.
And one last sentence example. Su 선생님 is so busy with her work and with her family, she hasn't a moment to spare. That's a fancy way to say, I have no time.
그러네요. But I always have a moment to spare on this show. Thank you so much, Steve, for
our
that.
listeners appreciate that.
All right, have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Have a great Monday. Please do drive safely in the rain. And see you in about 23 hours' time. 23, not 90, Sue. 23 hours.
Give me some time to calculate that. All right, thank you, Steve.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, taking Steve out of the studio and taking us into hour 2 is Roxette. It must have been love.